Canada. Get swept up in today's independent music.
Good morning, everyone, and in case it's not morning where you're at, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'm your host, Anthony Longhair Leclerc, and I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, the marvelous Marla the Mouse McCarty.
What's up, everybody?
We have a question for you.
Do we?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Have you ever heard of Esther Pennell before?
I sure have.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah. In fact, I know her.
What?
Yeah, I know. Shocking.
Dude, you know someone that we're covering on the podcast?
I know her. That's so cool.
Is that conflict of interest?
I don't know.
Oh. Anyway, so welcome to the Single Sweep. We are going to be reviewing our good friend Esther Pennell today. If you didn't catch that right off the top, she just put out a new song called "Blindsided."
She did, and I'm quite excited about it.
Yeah, I was quite excited about it yesterday too when we did this review.
Yeah.
And then subsequently lost all of the footage, and then hours later all of the audio from two different tech failures. Awesome. So if I seem a little annoyed or short today, not like the way you are.
I was going to say, are you the short of the long and short today?
No, more terse than normal.
Yeah. In terms of levels of annoyance, I am the long and you are the short today.
Yeah. So cheers. So I apologize if I seem a little short in that regard. Mm-hmm. No offense to you and your people.
None taken.
So, but yeah, so I feel like we're just gonna dig right in with a quick little bio, and then we'll go off with a song. So I met Esther here in North Bay when I was busking down the waterfront in the summer of last year.
Yeah, it would be 2019.
Yeah, good. It feels like it's been longer, so I don't know. That's why I was kind of like, wait.
Yeah, I was trying to think about that, and I was like, wait, I think we've only known her for like a year.
Yeah, so anyway, I had busked at waterfronts in places before, and it had been quite lucrative. It is not the case in a Northern Ontario town of only 50,000 people.
No.
Not quite as lucrative. You still have people peddling Jesus, so I got some of those, proselytizing cards or whatever else with some, pity money and stuff like that. So that was fun. You get those everywhere. Mm-hmm. But in terms of people who actually give a fuck about the music you're playing, not that much. But this one woman was walking by with a Taylor case, and she's like, oh, you're busking and stuff. And at first I thought, someone's trying to take my place, because I found a place I was comfy, and I was like, And I was like, hey, how's it going? Still play, like, whatever. I mean, she seemed cool. And I was playing my Merlin.
Yeah, I was about to say, you were playing your dulcimer.
Yeah, and shout out to Siegel and Godin for putting out the Merlin, because it is a fantastic piece of equipment.
It is.
We'll do a video about that on the Leclerc Studios channel sometime, so check out Leclerc Studios on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Like and subscribe. But anyway, and I was also using my little Roland AC33, my little acoustic battery-powered amp that uses like 8 AA batteries. So I was playing with that because I didn't get the S1 yet. And anyway, so we chatted for a few minutes, and then she went off down her way. I was like, oh, you're going to go busk? She's like, no, I'm just going to go play somewhere or whatever. If the mood strikes to write and whatever else. I was like, oh, cool. And then I was just like, she's just doing it, and I feel like I'm here doing a job. Mm-hmm. I was still having a good time, but I was hoping to make some money, right? So she came back that way, and we sat and chatted more, and she showed me hers and I showed her mine, kind of thing. And so I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's your name, like, whatever, I'll add you, and we'll be in touch. I do jams at my place. She's like, that'd be amazing, right? Mm-hmm. And she went off to the bus station, and I don't know if both of us felt this, but I kind of felt at one point or another during that was like, yeah, we're never going to see each other again. Like, that's, pleasantries and, this person, that person, but no one ever actually coordinates and gets together, right? So eventually I reached out and was like, hey, so we're doing a jam, and so eventually she got here, brings her banjo and her kazoo, and so as we lovingly call her,
Banjo-Kazooie is our nickname for Esther.
and yeah, so we just started jamming. She's been here a number of times to jam, and she did the very first live at the 105 here, and which is not currently a series that is happening for, I think, reasons that are obvious, which is sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Esther. She's super Canadiana based. She pulls a lot from her First Nations heritage, which she's working more and more at getting in touch with, and is involved in a lot of community that way. Yeah, and has worked a lot out of Montreal, and that's where her management team, I guess, is. And so, I mean, she's made a good living for herself as a musician, and considering she's only been doing it for no time, 5 years or so, 5-6 years
maybe. Yeah.
Before that, I think she just loved saying the phrase, but she's like, I just used to swing a hammer for a living. And I was like, yeah, and she used to work in construction, right? And so, and then things led to, she was like, fuck it. I got a banjo, and she could play guitar, she plays kazoo, So that being said, new release as of now a day ago. Yeah. I guess I was hoping to have it on the day release, but here we go anyway. So let's
here we go again.
Yeah, but not on our own. Well, I guess technically on our own. Yeah, but we're not going down any roads anytime soon. So yeah, let's dig right in. This is Blindsided by Esther Pennell. He'll kick him. I just want to give him enough space.
Funny how it leaves you breathless, laying down all your defenses. I was foolish for you, darling, like a child, fanning flames of desire while we were sitting by the fire. Took me by surprise and drove me wild. All the future plans that we made, being lazy in our PJs, reading poetry and laughing in the dark. Told me secrets you'd been keeping, you'd watch while I was sleeping. Never thought this love would miss the mark. I was blindsided, 6 a.m. goodbye. Never saw it coming at all. Don't try to look me in the eye and tell me that you just weren't ready for the fall. All the things you take for granted when you think you've got a hand. Ooh, that is steady holding on. Thought you'd always be beside me. I carved a place for you that's empty. Now you're gone. Blindsided, 6 a.m. goodbye. Never saw the writing on the wall. Don't try to look me in the eye and tell me that you just weren't ready for the fall. What a picture we painted before you pulled the rug from under me. Funny now it's faded, but I'll see it clear eventually. Funny how it leaves you breathless, laying down all your defenses. I was foolish for you, darling, like a child, fanning flames of desire while we were sitting by the fire. Took took me by surprise and drove me wild. But I was blindsided, 6 a.m. goodbye. Never saw the writing on the wall. Don't try to look me in the eye and tell me that you just weren't ready for the fall. That you just weren't ready for the fall.
That was Blindsided by Esther Pennell.
I like it. I like it quite a bit. Yeah, that's great. I love the fretless bass in that song. Like, I think that's such a cool instrument choice. Like, it's not often that you really hear fretless bass in music unless it's, like, I guess, jazz music? I don't know. Like, you don't really hear people play the fretless bass a lot, so...
Or Bowie music.
Yeah. I mean, Joni Mitchell in the late 70s had a lot of fretless bass because she was working with Jacob Pastorius, but... Yeah.
Well, that's why, though.
Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, you can only really for sure tell it's fretless bass at the top and tail of the whole piece.
Mm-hmm.
I find anyway, because you get that wow wow like the slide in there and that buzz.
Exactly.
But otherwise, though, it just fits in as a bass.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, whatever else, but it's noticeably a fretless at the opening and close of the song for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and I had mentioned already, I guess this is all reiteration anyway, but as I want to do with my musical orgy scenario, if Blue Rodeo, Blue October, Bryan Adams, and then you added Indigo Girls.
The Indigo Girls, yeah.
If all four of those people got together and had a musical orgy, it would sound something like this, I think. Because you get the opening verse that sounds almost in pacing and in phrasing like the opening of Hate Me by Blue October. So she's going...
Funny how it leaves you breathless, laying down all your defenses. I was foolish for you, darling, like a child.
Right? And then Blue October would be like, have to block out thoughts of you so I don't lose my head. Crawling like a cockroach, and baby's in my bed. Yeah. So she's dropping lower in at the end, but the pacing through and that sort of just that vibe, that's where my head went. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting out of it. So that's what you get.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just the instrumentation, a lot of it is Blue Rodeo to me, and that could be because, and I think this is the case, this is one of the songs that Esther did with Peter Cliche, which would mean that everything aside from Esther singing is probably Peter Cliche playing. If this is one of those tracks, because I know that she's been working close with him, and he plays fucking everything, and he's great, but he's also... I don't want to say old guard because that sounds like I'm being a dick, but like he's closer to Blue Rodeo anyway, I'll say in age and in style and whatever than either of us are, right? And so her music lends itself to that kind of feel, and then he fleshes that out of her melody and her lyric with all the extra instruments, right?
Yeah. The other thing that what I was saying before too is I do find it interesting, and I actually really enjoy listening to Esther singing with like a backing band, because typically when we hear her sing, it's just her and her banjo, and like as far as I could hear, there was no banjo in that song at all. So I find that kind of interesting because I always associate Esther with the banjo, and so I kind of enjoyed listening to her with a different musical setup. I thought that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get to my opinions about this. You already know them, of course, but and so I agree and slightly disagree. Mostly agree. But yeah, so then Indigo Girls, it's that acoustic guitar strum throughout. That's like where like the strum and pick in there, just like on the bass layer of the guitar track.
And even just lyrically too, kind of reminds me of an Indigo Girls song.
Well, when you hit the harmonies in the chorus, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
where you get it.
Like just the feel of the song reminds me of the Indigo Girls for sure.
Because it's got that 90s alt feel.
Yeah, it does.
But the way, I don't know, the way the rest of it is built seems very Canadian. I don't know. And then the solo, I think the guitar solo is very Bryan Adams. And I don't know, it's just, it's thinner and it still has like a buzz to it, but you could interchange a solo with that tone in a country song or a rock song, and I find a good bit of Bryan Adams stuff you could do that with.
Yeah. It almost reminds me a little bit of, and I was thinking about this today, is that like that slide guitar to me in my mind is a little bit reminiscent of like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because Mike Campbell does some like slide guitar style stuff like that. So that it kind of made me think of that as well.
You'll do anything to throw Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers into a music orgy, won't you?
I sure will.
Yeah, so that's my musical orgy explanation there. If all of those groups came together, and that's why. That's the breakdown anyway. In terms of the song itself, I have to say that, because this is a review, I'm sorry, I'm not just going to gush. There's plenty to gush about, and I do very much like the song, but I'm not just going to gush. There, in the first verse, and she reiterates the first section of the first verse at the end, and it's clearer, which is good. And not that Esther's voice isn't clear. I mean, it is on the lower end of her register, I believe, so naturally she's going to be expelling the rest of that breath on child. And
is it wild?
I guess. But yeah, so when she goes lower on there, like da 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 da, like a child, right? I'm missing the clarity of the ends of those words, and I think that's twofold. So I think what I just said, which is it's on the lower end of her register, so it's disappearing anyway. But even if she completed those words, which I imagine she did in the recording, the music is higher up in the mix and drowns it out. So then I'm hearing foolish for you, darling, like a child. And like the last time I thought of a child was listening to Jimi Hendrix. So yeah, I don't know. That's so that's something that bugs me, just because I'm, and this as a vocalist, I want to hear the lyrics. I want to hear the words. I'm the exact same way too. I can't stand when I can't understand a freaking word that someone is singing. Yeah. And this I have to reiterate this from yesterday's recording as well. This makes me think of like the main things I don't like in music because I can't understand the lyrics. So first and foremost, I am a metalhead. I love metal. Great stuff. But fucking death metal or like black metal, like this is all subgenre shit. So like black metal, when all you hear is like, I am going to the world to destroy you, right? Like, what? Sorry, what? I can't hear you. Like, cool. Wait, what? You're super talented. I couldn't do that to my voice without throwing up blood later. Right? Like for a whole concert? Fuck that. Yeah, no. Right? Like I couldn't do that to, like, maybe to save my life, but then I would be a mute at the end of that. So what would be the point? And so it's a particular skill that does require building of a skill to do, but I just can't be bothered because I cannot understand the lyrics. Even if the rest of the music is great, and I'll just be like, yeah. And then I just lose interest. So there's that. Then there's fucking... I don't like rap much anyway. I'll be totally honest, I'm not a fan. There are some songs and some artists I do enjoy and will go out of my way to watch or listen to a new thing that they've done or whatever, but overall I'm not a huge fan of rap, says the very white long-haired man in a cowboy hat and plaid and jeans, but didn't see that coming, I guess.
Shocker.
But the mumble rap subgenre, you know, like, I was hanging with my bitches, I was hanging on the floor, and I do it with the gangs, and I do it with the hoes. What? Like, you probably understood what I was saying there for the most part, but that's just because that's almost everything that people seem to rap about is bitches, skanks, and hoes, right? Like,
yeah.
And then a word I'm not going to drop on here because I don't
You're the whitest guy in the room.
I'm the only guy in the room.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's another thing I have against rap, but this isn't about that. This is just about mumble rap because I can't understand a fucking word they're saying, or like every other word they're saying. I'm just like, I hear bitch, hoe, skank. I hear that. Those are clear as day, and that other word. But like everything in between that, I don't know. You're just stringing everything together till the next bitch. Pretty well. That's mumble rap. That's mumble rap.
Yeah.
I hate it. Then, and I'm sorry to my cousin Ben because I know this is a genre he really loves, shoegaze music. Fuck shoegaze music. Fuck it. Fuck it. There's something about, if you're going to stare at your feet the whole time you're performing, please be clear with your diction when you are singing, because otherwise I just get, I go along, so I wrote it for you, and then I put on reverb, so you don't have to listen, and I don't have to listen. What? Well, I'm sorry, I can't understand you because you're staring at your fucking feet. It's essentially mumble rap of the indie genre because indie's a genre now instead of a fucking actual like type of independently built music. The whole like half
mumble rap.
Half of the indie genre is all shoegaze music. It's all super reverbed out. So even if you could understand the beginning of a phrase, you can't understand the end of it because the beginning of the phrase is just echoing off of every fucking thing. And then I am super short today. I'm sorry. My fuse is just like, fuck it. I'm just going to rage.
Didn't notice.
But I did, whatever. I gave it a disclaimer. But yeah, so I can't stand that. So anyway, those are the three main things I can't stand. If I can't hear what you're saying, and those seem to be the three big ones. So obviously Esther, very small percentage of the song I could not, and I could understand it. It's just I couldn't hear the final bits, and I want to hear the rest of her voice character because one, I like her voice, and two, I just want to hear the words she's singing, right? And I think, and so this is why I agree and disagree with you about hearing her in a different musical framework, right? Because we are so used to just jamming with her. Yeah. As just her and her banjo. So and this could just be because that's how I was introduced to her playing music. So I'm just like, that's what I want to hear. I just, like, it's cool. All the shit that's happening in the song is cool. And, like, the other stuff she was showing us, you know, and it's all cool sounds in the background and her talking and all this narrative going on in the song. That's a really cool thing. It's just, I fucking just love hearing Esther. Just Esther play and sing, right? And I'm always the one to say, like, just strip it down to, like, almost fuck all. And then it's just the person with their music. I love that. I think it's great. And that's probably unrealistic for a lot of people because fucking no one just puts out just them doing shit now, right?
Yeah, that's fair. It's like a lot of people, like, you don't have to do it, but it's a standard.
Although, sorry, go ahead.
To have, like, a backing band. Yeah. It makes sense. But you were going to say? I
was going to say shout out to John Carter, whose latest EP, which is the live... I'm sorry, John. It's the live EP. I think that's what it's called. I think that's just what it's called. It's something piss simple anyway. It's just him and a guitar. Yeah. I think there might be a couple bits or whatever, but like it's not like percussion and it's not whatever else. It's just him. It's nice. Which is what will be happening with Whiskey Moon when it comes out.
Yeah.
But, so, not to disparage what Esther's doing. It sounds great. It's a great song. I do really like the song. I just want to hear her. Always. Through that. So yeah, because there are certain moments too, like we're just listening to it again. I don't know if you felt that way or not, but like at a certain point I was just like, I hear the guitar way too much. Like too much. I just want to hear her.
Yeah, I don't know if I felt that way as much necessarily. Because like I was saying before, I kind of enjoyed listening to... I guess I'm sort of the antithesis where it's like, I actually really enjoyed hearing her with that backing band and like hearing a different sound than I typically hear. I quite liked that, actually, so... Well,
I did just say I did like that, but I wanted to stay a backing band.
Yeah.
Because it as far as I'm aware, just the way it was actually recorded, it's just one other person. So it's not like a band came together to do all this. So it's just one person recording and then mixing all the shit. That's awesome. He did a great job. But who's the artist on the fucking album?
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah. So I don't know. There was a certain part in the thing where I just kind of like, I almost checked out from the vocals because the guitar seemed high, like louder in the mix. And I was just like, well, that's bullshit. Like, I could still hear her, like whatever. It's just I could hear a swab. Like my focus pulled to the guitar, and that shouldn't be what happens. Now, of course, that was my experience and not yours. So I could just be a fucking dumb schmuck talking about music out of his ass like he knows something when he doesn't, which is mostly accurate. But that's not the point. It's how I feel.
Yeah,
that's what's important.
That's fair. Yeah.
To me in this moment, anyway. So yeah, so I don't know. It's I love the song "Blindsided," everyone.
Yeah.
And links in the description below to more of Esther's work. She is working on an album right now.
Yes.
That should be out soon. She gave me a time frame of a few weeks. So like I said, that also depends on just like the state of the world.
Yeah, that's pretty valid.
And but yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it anyway, and for sure we're going to review it on the podcast because
yeah, absolutely.
Why wouldn't we?
Also, we were talking about this yesterday, how much we both loved the album artwork for it too. I think it's great.
Yeah, well, it just so it's anyway, you'll see it, but like you probably already have seen it actually because it's probably the thumbnail to this episode.
Yeah,
probably. But, yeah, it makes me long to be outside.
Yeah.
It also makes me wish there was still snow on the ground, which actually there was today. Briefly.
Yeah, it was sunny and snowing out today, which is interesting.
It was pretty and it left a coating of snow, which means it snowed quite a bit. It was snowing also in Kingston, by the way. A friend of mine messaged. She's like, why the fuck is it snowing? I was like,
that's cool.
So, yeah. It's a beautiful... It makes me want to canoe, and it makes me want to snowshoe at the same time. That picture.
Yeah, I feel that. Which,
by the way, is not a thing you should do.
No.
Because if you can snowshoe, you probably shouldn't be canoeing.
Yeah.
Even if there's a spot to do that.
Yeah.
I've been told you're not supposed to go out in a canoe just after the ice has started breaking because apparently it's too cold and you could die quick.
5 minutes.
Not in the fucking canoe.
Not in the canoe. If you bailed, yes, 5 minutes.
All we have to do is just not go near rapids again. So, or at least the wrong set of them. But anyway, so Esther Pennell, everyone.
Yeah.
Blindsided, great song. Thank you very much, Esther, for sharing that with us. And I'm looking forward to reviewing the album.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite excited to hear some of the rest of the stuff on the album because we've heard a couple of tracks that she showed us, and so I am quite excited to hear everything else she has to offer.
I often forget that you're synesthetic, so you're just like, yeah, I can't wait to hear the album. I don't think you did that on purpose, but
no, that was completely not on purpose. But
I guess you will do both.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll have to do an episode about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grill you about it, and you're gonna be super frustrated by the end of the episode because I'm just be like, yeah, but what is it? Like, explain, and then you'd be like, oh no, I don't know, shut up, just love me and fuck off. All right, so anyway, that's Single Sweep episode 13 in the can, I believe.
Yeah.
So swish. Yeah, so do check out the links below to listen to more of Esther's work and the group that she works with. And before we sign off, about the album artwork, I forgot to mention also, as I did yesterday, that her managers in Montreal didn't want that as the photo for her album artwork. Mm-hmm. They were like, no, that's not a thing you're going to use. You should have whatever. I don't know what the hell they offered. It didn't matter because she was like, well, fuck yourselves. It's my music and my album. So
Power to you.
Yeah, and she just took that with her phone last year or something like that.
Which
so
is brilliant.
It is a bit blurry.
But I like that effect.
But
I think it's nice.
I'm just being a dick. I mean, whatever. It's a great photo. As I said, it pulls
adds,
from me.
A vintage feel to the picture.
Yeah. It just, and as I said, it makes me feel. So
yeah,
that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that's why the manager's like, oh, well, it's not an HD shot. It's not clear. It's blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't know I don't even know what the title of her album is.
I don't either.
But I imagine it goes with the title of the album. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, there we have it.
And go listen to more Esther Pennell.
Yes, do it. Do it right now.
Do it now, kids.
Go.
Stick it to the man.
And we shall see you guys later.
Swept Media. Get swept up in today's independent music.